Championship on TNN has been brought to you by Prestone.
I'm standing here with one of the favorites here today, the man with his signature bull moose antlers, all the way from Alaska, and believe it or not, has probably the most fans of anybody here, even though y'all had to come all the way from Alaska. Jack Kennedy, how you feel today, Jack?
Feel a little nervous, but I'm sure I'll get over that about the third hit or so.
Well, you were third in last year's Western States Smash-a-thon. How do you feel about today?
Well, we're just going to give it our best shot today, and we'll see what happens. There's a lot of station wagons out here today, and it's going to be a hard-hitting, fast-paced event.
Well, good luck out there, and you want to say hello to anybody in Alaska?
Well, I'll just say hello to everybody back in Alaska. I brought my family down here, so can't say hello to them. They're here.
Well, I hate to see this Alaska state flag get banged up, but it's going to happen.
Well, TNN is huge in Alaska. We get a lot of mail from up there, Bob Fry.
Let's take a look at the grid. Our onboard camera rides with the 00 Chris Hicks. Mike Doyle, Mad Mike, one of the big favorites here. In the number 6 card, Jeff Mueller, second-year man in his 72 Mercury, and the Meadster Madness. That's a 57 Plymouth of Greg Mead. Jack Kennedy, you just met him. That's the Moose car. And the NWO entry out of Modesto, California, Jose AYON. Number 29, E.J. Blaze. And that's the rating you pull it guy. He looks like he could be with the NWO. And the 73 Buick of Barrick Fementer is the 30 car. Number 39, Tommy McBride, local boy, 74 olds, finalist here in 96. And the number 44 to look a lot like Jeff Gordon's car. That's the Rainbow Bright entry of Mike Hogue. Part of the husband and wife team, Tanya Clark and Ada Dixon, Nick Courville in the 54 entry. Part of the Holt family, middle son, David Holt in the 58. And the Iceman, PEDRO Garcia. Gary Moore drives number 66. No, not that Gary Moore. The New Holland dealer out of Dixon. And the hitter, Ken Howard, one of the favorites. And part of the American team, we just met him, David Boyle out of Washington.
Okay, what do you think back there in Charlotte, huh? We've set the field for you. Anybody you like particularly? Katie, Steve?
Well, Steve, that Dave Boyle guy could look kind of dark and mysterious to me. I don't think I'll go with him, but I am going to go with number 73. He is one of the favorites, Ken Howard. He runs derbies with his dad, has for 20 years, but his dad, who's Daryl, is in heat number 2. He is retiring tonight, so I want to see that Ken can carry on that family tradition. So go Ken, number 73.
And I'm going with number 39, Tom McBride. He's a Reno native. He works at a local car dealership, so I'm thinking he knows some trick stuff about these cars. He made it to the main event last year, and frankly, I think Mike Doyle, all the fame's gone to his head. I think, you know, it's gone to his head. He's not going to be able to run up front.
Give me my rundown.
Trophy in the grocery store.
It could happen. I don't know, but it's going to be exciting. Get ready to sit down and get smashed. Let's go back to site.
Wait a minute. Did she say sit down and get ready to get smashed?
It's a demo term.
We had a great time here in 1996 at the Smash-a-thon. Let's take a look at one of the guys that made the field.
Yep, this was Tom McBride, and Tom had a pretty good day until something unexpected happened right there.
I don't know how you could come into a derby and call that unexpected. And there he is. As we take a look at him live here, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup, Steve. We got some great cars. The number 10 car, guy celebrating his birthday here today, Greg Mead, with a 57 Plymouth. Got a lot of wide bodies, and they are underway. And watch the Moose car. Keep your eye on him, Mike Doyle, and of course Ken Howard. Doyle right there in the number 1 car. And there's that Rainbow Bright. Looks like a big bag of Skittles. The 44 entry.
And here is our in-car 00. This is Chris Hicks from Klamath Falls, Oregon, the crash cam, as we like to call it. He's about to put it to good use.
That's his car right there. He has never run a station wagon, one of the few non-wagons, not only in this heat, but in the program tonight.
And he takes great pride in that. He says there's sissies in those wagons. You need a family car people can identify with 4 doors on it.
This is a very wide track.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, man, and he rides right up on top of 2 of them with our crash camera, Chris Hicks, and then he gets demolished by the Anchorage, Alaska car. Look at that. Nothing Hicks can do right now because he's not even touching down.
Our camera is completely off the ground. I think sometimes when the drivers get the camera, they try to go out and put on too good a show early. Oh, and that may have helped him there.
That's the birthday boy, Greg Mead. There's the NWO entry, our onboard camera. He is just sitting there kind of dead in the water. Boy, if he could move, he could take out Mead right there in the 10 car.
This is about a 12-minute heat, and you have to have something left with if you go to the main. The top 4 on points will go to the main event with the 5th place as an alternate.
Watch this again on the replay with our onboard camera. Here goes. Man.
Up and over.
Prime time hit. Yes, indeed. Looked like our stock car football from up at the Erie County Fair. Hicks, the Jaws car, he's got big problems, and he's talking to himself, and I'm not sure that's going to help. And the crowd here and Nevada at the State Fair just loving it. Some big wagons still making the moves. That's David Boyle. He's the part of that Can-Am entry team that we talked about earlier. 3 years of driving, and he's already won 5 of the feature trophies in that 74 car. He was one of the last runners, by the way, for the American team at that Can-Am Bash. Let's go down courtside to Bobby Gerald.
Well, as usual, we started off by telling you a little bit about what the track conditions are like. We've got a pretty fast Derby pit out here tonight, Bob and Steve. There are a couple things that are tricky about it, though, because there are patches of dry where you can really grab a hold of the track. And there are also some slick patches, so all of the Derby drivers are going to have to be dealing with that when they try to plan their attack.
Well, our moose man, Jack Kennedy from Alaska, who did so well a year ago, he laid back for a little while, but now he's scoring some points with the judges, I guarantee it. And so, too, is that 74 car of Dave Boyle.
He just took out Tommy McBride right there. Look at this. Here's an arena shot from the NWO car taking out the boys, and he just about ran him up and over the berms. Now, if you go over those berms here, Steve, you can get back in the competition. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to happen here for Chris Hicks. That's a 65 Chrysler Newport. Watch this. If somebody runs at him, our onboard camera's going to give you a great shot at it.
The guys who really prepare these Derby cars to perfection usually lock the spider gears in the rear end so that both rear tires get traction or get drive from the motor, from the drive shaft.
That's the moose guy. Go figure. Anybody that loves moose hunting. Let's go down now to Tim Wilson.
Hey, I'm down here with the delegation from Alaska. They're here with Jack Kennedy, Demolition Derby driver, and possibly, I guess, future Alaska senatorial candidate or something. This guy's popular. Tony, how long have y'all been down here?
The Kennedys have been here about a week. They flew down last Saturday.
Boy, I'm looking here. Y'all brought about half the state of Alaska with you.
He's got his daughter and his son, Sean, 7 years old, Jamie, 5, and his wife, Kay.
Well, I feel like we're in Alaska, not in Nevada. Back upstairs to Steve Evans.
Well, I got to tell you, if you're going to go into politics, Jack Kennedy is about as good a name as you could carry. And also, I'm not sure he's going to get the green vote, though, with the moose horns on the roof of that car. But Jack's rocking and rolling now. He has come to play.
Got some trouble now up the back there. This is a great look at Mike Doyle with our Motor Madness logo on. And you can see it's a lot of the wagons that are still alive, dead in the water. Gary Moore, part of the father-son team, number 66. Oh, and there's a great hit right there by Dave Boyle. Boyle really smashing up, and here comes the Skittles and/or Jeff Gordon, entry 44, 29, EJ Blaze, and the 72 Monaco. He's not doing a whole lot. And there's our Motor Madness Car Quest entry, and he just takes a smack. The wagon's still doing well in the 44 car. Hey, running as well as Jeff Gordon is. We'll be back and wrap up heat number 1 from Reno, Nevada, next.
He's a demolition derby man. He's all the wreck one car can stand.
A first heat as we have ever seen in our coverage here on Motor Madness on TNN. Unbelievable.
Some great matchups. 66 isn't enjoying this as much as we are. That's Gary Moore, the 1 car you just saw in the picture, Mike Doyle. I'm not sure Mike's going to make the cut here, but Jack Kennedy and the Moose car is doing a wonderful job. Jose AYON is doing good. The 23-year Derby veteran there, and he is just sitting there, and he's kind of waiting and hoping maybe that his son, who'll be doing it a little bit later on, Bubba, will be able to do better than he did.
He has disqualified himself. He's waved off, and you cannot change your mind once you've done that. There's no restarting, so he is dead. That's it for Gary Moore.
There are some big hits going on. The 44 car is still doing well. That's Mike Hogue and the Rainbow Bright machine, and there's our defending champ. He is having more problem with the track now than just about anything else.
He may have scored enough points, though, because he was so aggressive early on. Mike Doyle, right now, look at that car, vibrate and shake. The tires are flat. He can't get any grip with the left, or he's dug himself a hole there, using every bit of body English he can. The steering is trying to fall out. Other than that, it's a clean one owner.
Steve, he would almost hope that somebody would come in and take him out. I mean, this time, even his Superman garb isn't going to help him out of anything. He would love for somebody to come and punch him out, but they're not going to do it because they realize the trouble that Doyle's in.
Like I say, though, we'll have to see what Dutch Holland and his 4 crack judges come up with. He may still make that main event. Bobby Gerald, what do you see down there?
Well, I tell you what, Steve, not only is the Derby going on, but we've also got the Nevada State Fair going on. And right over my shoulder, there are some horse activities, I'm told, by TJ and Ty, my 2 buddies here, 10-year-old twins. Ty, who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for Number 14.
All right. What about you, TJ? Who you got?
Number 74.
How much did you guys bet, Ty?
Nothing.
You didn't bet nothing? What's up with that? You got to bet something. Here, shake hands. You guys bet a quarter. I'll spot both of you. You want to shake hands? They don't want to cooperate, guys.
Boy, that's that free spending Bobby Durrell down there, just throwing that money around. 14, of course, is Kennedy right there in the center of the picture. He has lost a tire, and there's Boyle, number 74. He's lost a front wheel.
Well, Dave Boyle, not only a member of the U.S. team at the Can-Am Derbies, he's also a high school coach.
Does he coach demoing?
I don't know if that's a scholastic sport. Maybe in the state of Nevada. But look at our man, Doyle is moving again. Mike Doyle has got that black number 1. Moving again.
Now, the good thing about that for Doyle is that he might have a chance being here in Heat 1. Kennedy is doing a marvelous job. We've seen cars come into the Derby look worse than that when they get started. He takes into Howitt right there. That was Katie's pick, and I don't think there's any doubt that Kennedy, Howitt, Doyle probably, Jose AYON are all going to advance into the final, along with the 44 car, Mike Hogue, the auto dismantler by profession. Talk about typecasting.
Now, you may wonder why they run the exhaust up through the hood like that. It's not for a zoomy look. It's so they can hear and tell when the motor is running. There's so much noise with the helmets on, they don't always know the motor's running unless they can hear the exhaust. And there is number 39. That is Tom McBride, sponsored by Distance, Reno's hottest new rock band. Right now, he'd like them to roke him off the band. If he wins tonight, he's what?
You think he's bowing the race here? The only guy says, I don't really think I want to win this thing and everything like this. He's going in the tank, I'm telling you, folks. Look at this. They're playing ring around right there. We're about ready to end this heat number 1, and there are about half a dozen cars still alive. The Demolition Determinator sitting there judging on hits, and of course it helps if you're running at the end. But I gotta like the guys we mentioned. Of course, the 14 car, Kennedy, right there, the 22 car, Jose is still doing a wonderful job. And how about Doyle? Got himself out of that predicament. We might not call him the champ. We might call him Houdini for getting out of that.
That is not even recognizable as an automobile. I have to tell you that Jack Kennedy, from what we saw, drove the smartest race. Certainly the most aggressive was Mike Doyle right there.
And Howitt doing a great job there with the 73 car. And poor Gary Moore in the 66 car as the fans go wild looking. And just a couple of last little whacks. Mike Hogue out of Modesto. And it's ironic because his car looks like Jeff Gordon's, and he says, I am not a number 24 fan. Doyle has been doing a marvelous job. Just took out the NWO entry. And all the big hitters right there. And these are the guys that will advance, I'm pretty sure, Steve.
About the only place Mike Doyle can sell that number 1 car maybe would be in Buffalo, where during the winter it's just a parking structure with a sign that says this is not an abandoned car.
Unbelievable. And there are the remnants of some of the non-survivors. You got about a minute or so left here. Big hit right there. Howitt, he and his dad are running here. His dad will be talking about him a little bit later on. And Doyle kind of really getting smashed up. I'm amazed at the way Howitt's car and the 44 car have survived, along with Jose AYON, who's got an interesting way to run this thing with the water in that car, Steve.
Yeah, he really doesn't run any water. In fact, he wants to bet anybody in the place $500 his engine will run longer without water than theirs. Somebody might take him up on that. Is Dutch Hall and his wife Fran looking on. A lot of these drivers wishing that this first heat was over right now. And I think Dutch is about to call it.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that the cars we've been featuring. Look at the birthday boy, number 10 right there. He is just sitting there, and it's not a great way to spend your birthday. And there's the 22 car, Jose AYON, and the NWO car doing a wonderful job. And a look at Doyle, who got out of that predicament. We'll come back and find out which 4 and the alternate advance to the finals when we come back.
The meanest man driving, and that ain't no lie. He's legally blind in his good eye. He can't see much, but he can smell the kill. So you better not get caught standing still. Music. Unfortunately, today the country is Egypt.
Learn to dance with us. We can teach you how to belly dance. It's good for you. It's good for your soul.
Well, you obviously don't recognize me. I'm already a famous belly dancer. I'm a beer belly dancer.
Well, there's another group that Wilson's offended.
Better him than us. He's got those Bud abs. I'll tell you, there's been a lot of carnage here. The wreckers right now coming out to drag them off as we get ready for the second heat. But right, let me tell you about the future of Demolition Derby here on TNN the rest of 1997. If you're in the Northeast, well, you want to be at Springfield, Massachusetts, because we're going to bring our traveling crash and crunching show to the Big E, the Eastern States Expo. That's September the 12th, and we like to call it the New England Slam Chowder. Get it? Bondo Jones will be there. And then, as Bob mentioned earlier, for the final Demolition Derby event of the year, the intergalactic, modestly titled Crunch-Off, the Canadian national team will be there. It'll be the biggest purse for the best drivers in the universe. I suggested we have it on the South Lawn at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but I'm told that they won't be home that weekend, and that we have a surprise sight that will amaze all of you when it's announced. So that's where we're going to be the rest of this year on Friday nights for Demolition Derby.
Hey, if they're not home, all the better to use their backyard there. Here on TNN, round number 1 is in the books, and the crowd is getting set for the second one now. It was Dave Doyle finished in the 3rd slot. Ken Howard, that was Katie's pick. Number 2, Jose AYON, the big sleeper. Number 1, Mike Doyle, makes the cut as he makes it into the finals. Let's go down with the winner and Bobby G.
All right, Jose does things a little bit unconventional, guys. As you mentioned, no water in the radiator, and he made it last. Jose, that was the plan going in right from Jump Street, no water, and how unconventional is that?
Yeah, well, that's what you want to do when you're out there. Just go out there, and if you lose your radiator, still go.
Well, Steve Evans opened with this car, and so far, so good. You were pretty confident coming in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time confident.
He says there's no doubt that he's going to take it home tonight. Tim Wilson?
I'm with last year's champion, Mike Doyle, number 1. Mike, what place did you get there?
I got 4th in the heat.
Man, that's amazing. That car looked like the car was turned over, but still on 2 wheels.
Yeah, it was on 2 wheels. I had 2 flats that would really slow me down and cost me to really work the car real hard there. It got real hot, but hopefully we can get it ready and get it ready for the main in good shape.
When you got hung up down here on the back end of the track down here, what was happening there?
I was stuck in the dirt. With the 2 flats, the frame was hitting in the dirt, and it took me a while to work it loose. So luckily a car came along and hit me. Thought I was still in the action, and it got me going.
What do you got here on your shirt? Demolition Derby 1996 Western States champion.
Yeah, I won it last year. I was fortunate enough to win it last year. I have all these good drivers. It's going to be tough this year. I'll give it all I got again.
Well, man, you got some work to do, so go over there and get after it.
All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later.
Well, our man from Alaska, Jack Kennedy, is the alternate, and Bob Pratt, wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't make it. I don't know all 4 of those cars can be repaired to make to our second heat. You know, whenever you're in the Reno area, there's just so much to see and do, north, south, east, and west. And one of my favorite spots, my wife Sandy and I, anytime we're up here, is south shore of Lake Tahoe. This is Emerald Bay, the beautiful waterfall at Emerald Bay, only about 35 miles from downtown Reno. We'll be back to Charlotte in a minute.
All right, hanging out with us here at the Motor Madness, playing with the telestrator, which we will use with
You're good at that,
expertise
by
a
the
little
way.
later. Yeah, right. A lot of fun playing tic-tac-toe. But actually, we got to go back to the site just soon, but we have a very special guest we want you to meet, a driver who is going to be the intergalactic
An expert analyst.
That's what he says. So let's find out about him. Come back with us here at Motor Madness next.
He was one of the favorites coming in and did not make the cut. Had some problems, and that kind of says it all right there. He'll be looking to redeem himself here today.
And Bob, you know, the top drivers have discovered that vehicles with 5-mile-an-hour bumpers can provide a real competitive advantage for reasons you might not think of. For the inside scoop on how to set them up the right way, we asked Joe Reyes to share the tricks of his trade.
Okay, this bumper here is what you call a 5-mile-an-hour bumper. This bumper is, I mean, it's reinforced from the factory. I mean, gosh, this bumper must weigh, God, 100 pounds minimum, maybe even more. I just can't. Anyway, when they made them, they put like a little shock absorber behind the bracket. So when you hit, the bumper would go in and then pop out. Like I said, we call it a 5-mile-an-hour bumper. So what we do is we pop the shock, let the air out. It's got fluid too, you can see it. Then we beat it in where heavy metal touches heavy metal, and we weld it around. Because if not, it'll break off and fall off. And one main thing, not only does it help me in the Derby itself, it helps me in this because it seems like I'm a magnet. My car draws itself to bumpers that are laying in the track there, and I end up on top of them. God, I've lost 10 derbies because I end up on top of a bumper. So anyway, I'm going to make sure that my bumper is welded on for two purposes. I won't run over it, plus it'll stay on when I hit.
He certainly has got to be one of the odds-on favorite. You can take a look right there at what he's done to the front of that race car, and we'll find out if that strategy works out here in a moment in heat number 2. Bobby?
Are looking live at the feet of Jim Wagner, who is going to be competing in our second heat. Jim, why are you barefoot?
So I can hold on to the pedals.
All right, now is this something that you've started recently, or have you always done your derbies without shoes?
I've always ran my derbies without shoes.
No one tells you it gives you any hard time about the safety?
No. Sometimes they do, but not very often.
All right, well, Jim towed all the way from Glendale, Arizona, 15 hours to run barefoot here tonight, Tim.
I'm over here with a wild man here, number 77, the Duke of Hazzard, Duke HAAS. Is it true you talked Dutch Holland into letting you drive when you were 15?
He had enough to talk me into it. I don't know how it goes, but yeah, I didn't talk him into it. He just kind of did it.
You were wrecking cars before you had a license.
You got it. You got it, man. It just happened to it. We got the crew up there from Las Vegas, Cal, right there giving me the release the beast right now. Hey, this Peter's Gun Night custom full plastic car is really running hot.
Well, the thing I like about you, Duke, is you're shy.
Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit, man. Now, but, baby, you got to be shy in this derby. You know what I mean?
Man, I think he's trying to take my job, Bob Fry.
Nobody can take your job, Tim.
That's the kind of fun we were talking about at the top of the show. And, you know, in demolition derby terms, this man here has seen it all. Darrell Howitt, driving the number 72 car, has been competing in derby since the early 1960s. But, you know, like any great athlete, time finally catches up to you, and someday must be your last. Now that time has come for Darrell Howitt, and today will be his last demolition derby.
In the picturesque hills of California's wine country lives a demolition derby icon. And like a carefully aged wine, Darrell Howitt has crafted a successful derby driving career spanning over 30 years. It's a career rich in history and fond memories.
I remember my first demolition derby, which I started back in the early 60s. We started back then with older cars, with Chevrolets, 6 cylinders, that didn't last very long like the cars today do. The older cars that I've destroyed over my years would be collector's items now, and I wish I had a few of them to put in my garage. Looking back at the derbies when we first started out, we were actually pioneers. We had tough time scraping the money up because we were young, we was raising a family. Boy, the sport has changed over the years. It's not like it used to be. The sport itself, when it first started out, was basically take your family car and take it to the derby. Over the years, it's got where it's more professional. You have to fix your car up or you won't be there at the end. The vehicles we're running now are much stronger and last longer, so you better be ready to take some hits because you're going to get them or you're going to get put out. This will all end with me retiring this year, and my family will enjoy me retiring, and my son can take over from here.
Darrell's decision to retire may be bittersweet, but it is something to celebrate with his son, Ken Howitt.
Ken, you know the Napa Valley makes some of the best wines in the world. Fortunately, over the years, I haven't made a lot of money derbying, so what I'm going to have to do is substitute the better wine for a little bit less expensive wine. Here you go.
Our kind of guys.
How was it? Oh, man, they're celebrating his final derby. Well, folks, you know, the Nevada State Fair may not be the biggest in the country, but it's one of the cleanest, most fun, and certainly the safest. Everybody's a great time.
Let's take a look at the grid here, and there are some bad boys in this, and there he is, number 4 or 99, Joe Reyes. And it's shoeless Jim Wagner. He'll have our crash cam on board. In the 9 car, it'll be Brian Smith with the 9-ball Chevrolet. Jimmy Sinfellow in the Bash mobile entry. Number 20 is Alan Woosley. He says his car is cream and rust colored, and Steve Warwick's the master of disaster. In the 28 car, it's the Beaker, Scott Gallegos. We saw him last year. He is tough. And the wagon wrecker, Brian Holt. Number 34 car joins number 38, Terry Jersum. On that part of the lineup, we'll see 43, Fred Salas in the 72 Plymouth Roadrunner, and Jason McCurl, who has never won one of the demo derbies. In the 53 car, Jimmy Folsom with a 383 Chrysler and a 75 Dodge, and Mike Moore with a 58, yes, a 58 T-Bird. Kelly Sachs, 28 years old, getting set to go in the Staying Alive entry. Timmy Fuller, the Watermelon Man, whose wife also demo derbies for a living. It's the other Moore, that's Bubba, and Darrell Howard, we mentioned him. He'll try to join his son in the main. Phil King with a 73 Buick wagon, and the guy that we saw with Tim Wilson, Duke HAAS, maybe he's got the key to the save.
It will be interesting to see if they are as angry in the early going in heat number 2 as they were in number 1. That was just amazing. The track a little drier, could be even a little bit faster.
75 car, Phil King. There's the 64 car, Timmy Fuller, and the Watermelon. We'll take a look at the in-car camera right now, and there you see it. That's the number 8 man, shoeless, Jim Wagner. Doesn't wear shoes because he wants to hang on to the gas pedal. Good thing he hasn't had problem staying stuck in the seat. No telling what he might have done. Watch this. Gonna get one of those arena shots coming up. Oh, baby.
That was the way you score. He hit on the passenger side to try to take out that right front wheel and suspension. That was a great shot.
There's the killer, Phil King out of Washington State. Couple of Washington and Oregon runners here. One of the few non-wagons. Gary Moore, Bubba, and Steve, I want to tell you, if you look at him, he looks like a Bubba, if you know what I mean. The 9-ball car is in trouble already. And there's the Bird. There's the number 55 car, the 58 Bird. Ran the 9-ball car right out here by number 4, Joe Reyes, who's on a mission.
But I have to tell you, I didn't expect that 55 car, when we see it here in a second, right there, that T-Bird to be out there very long. Not a lot of sheet metals, an old rusty T-Bird that was not worthy of being restored.
Got some great cars. The killer wagon there is Phil King. He's the 75 car, and I expect him to hang for a while. The Washington State car, big wide body, 4,500-pound Buick. 28 car right in the middle of the mix, the Beaker. Scott Gallegos, the 9-ball car, still stuck in the corner pocket.
Well, they're not cheering for the 9 car, that's for sure, because Brian Smith has got a lot of problems. He came from Newman, California, big-time drag racing fan. We need all of those we can get next weekend with our live shows here on TNN from the U.S. National.
And he started demoing back in when he was 16 years old, and doesn't look like it's going to be one of his better efforts. Brian Holt, that's a 63 Lincoln, and there is Joe Reyes, 99 and forever, just looking to whack anybody. Just a spectacular veteran here, 4-time Arizona State champion, and the guy that has said he's got that special bumper there, and if he can keep from getting whacked on the front, he could be a player in the finals.
And nobody is more enthusiastic about the sport he enjoys. He's like a missionary for it, as we can see in that tape. He sits there and bench race all day with you, or bench crash with you all day.
Let's go down now and join Tim Wilson on the sideline.
I'm down here with Rosemary Reyes. She's babysitting future crew chief Gabriella. Joe looks like he's putting it on him out there today, Rosemary.
Yes, he is.
He had a little difficulty last time we were here, but he looks like he's giving them an attitude adjustment.
Yeah, he is. He's doing good.
Well, win or lose, Joe always leaves here with the most girls. I'll say that.
Yeah, he
Everywhere
does.
you look, there's Reyes women.
That's it.
No Bob Fry women.
Go figure. He is in big trouble right there, Reyes. Let's go down and check now with Bobby Gerald.
More Reyes women. Kathy Reyes, who is the daughter of Joe, the crew chief. Kathy, how bad does Joe want this one today after the disappointment of last year?
Oh, he wants this one bad. We've done everything to try to anticipate any problems, and hopefully we're going to do great this year. It was a big disappointment last year, but looks like we've been doing okay.
Let me ask you this. Is he really a black belt in karate?
Absolutely. He's good at everything he does. But that's just because he's my dad. He's my hero.
There you go. You better not make this guy mad.
Oh, yeah, there's a guy that I want to beat up. Great racing going on. A couple of the cars kind of dead in the water. The Watermelon Man right there is in trouble. The 58 T-Bird's still doing good. And right there, that's the Beaker. Scott Gallegos opened up his own business this year. Has not demoed since we saw him last year.
I asked him, Bull of the 64 car with a watermelon on the roof, if he raced watermelon. He said, no, my mother-in-law collects little things that have to do with watermelons in her honor. And there's number 31. He is just sitting there, Brian Holt.
That is a 63 Lincoln Continental with a 390 Ford engine. Mechanic by profession. He says these Fords are very good, and I can take out the wagons if I keep from getting whacked too much on the front end of the race car. Phil King in the 75 car. The fans love what they're seeing right here. Another good bash going on. We'll come back and continue with heat number 2 from Nevada next.
With the gas floored against the dashboard, there goes your bumper. Better get the wrecker worn. You feel like an Iraqi in the desert storm.
Whoa. For a great first heat here, Gary Bubba Moore is not having it. His father Gary drove in heat number 1. Remember the car number 66, but Bubba has waved off. And also Duke Hunt, or Daryl Howard, I'm sorry, the 72 car, who said this would be his last race. He may have an early evening.
Oh, he's surprisingly doing well right there. He's going to try to join his son in the main. Look at the number 4 or 99 car in the beginning. That was Joe Reyes right in the lower part of the screen. He and Howard both staying alive. Howard is looking in tremendous shape, Steve, for this far into it. And look at that. That 58 Bird is still in the competition. So is Phil King with that wagon, the 75 car, and Duke in the 77 car right there. He needs somebody to do what we saw them do in the first heat, bump him out of that little rut that he's in.
Yeah, he was the 15-year-old that tricked Dutch Pollen years ago. Little did he know Dutch just needed that extra $50. He knew he was 15. I'll bet on it.
Shoeless Jim Wagner is still in the heat. That's the number 8 car. Jimmy Sinfellow, the Bash Mobile entry, with the number 15 wagon. And Steve, I got to tell you, number 72, Daryl Howard doing a marvelous job, and so is Jimmy Folsom at the 75 Dodge with a 383 Mopar, was doing good right until we went to. Check out the seats in there. Hey, Bobby Gerald, I don't know if you can see those seat covers from where you are.
I can't see him. I can't see him from where we're at, Bob, but he was doing great just until just a moment ago. Jake Kresman's his brother-in-law. What happened, Jake?
You know, I don't know. He's doing fine, then all of a sudden it looks like he's stuck in a hole, but it's hard to tell here. He's got a couple flats with him, so.
Do you think he scored enough points early on to be able to advance?
No.
How's that for honesty?
He could at least lobby a little bit, you know. The killer doing a great job, minus the one left rear wheel. But he is having a great heat. That's the Washington State runner, and he is still moving. The Beaker, Scott Gallegos, is doing good. And look at 72. Amazing. It's Phil King, a great winner in Washington State, where they don't run a lot of the wagons in Washington and Oregon. But he's doing well, staying alive, and so is Shelby Sachs, the 61 car.
You'll find a number of these cars, regardless of the original manufacturer. Bill King may be one of them. They install Chrysler motors, 383s, 318s. Those are full running motors. They're cheap. You can find them in any kind of junkyard. In fact, that T-Bird right there that just went to your screen, the 55 car, has a 318 Copar motor in it.
Shelby Sachs into some problems right now. He's 28 years old, a cable installer by profession. I asked him, what's the key to winning? He said, just stay alive. And right now, he's in a log jam out there in the middle. Got some problems here, but that'll be the 72 car. And Daryl Howard running maybe the demo of his life. And the 8 car right in front of him, right with him, that's shoeless Jim Wagner. Howard in the yellow car, Wagner in the 8 car.
I tell you, if he wins his final ever Derby, they'll have some better wine than that stuff they had in the sack. I guarantee you that.
Now, they called him the geezer. We don't write him, folks. We just read him. He has made enough hits. You see the front of the car. He's really bogged down as the demolition determinator taking a look. I think he's going to have to agree with us, Steve. I cannot believe the T-Bird, the 58 T-Bird, is still running and in remarkably good shape.
When they first unloaded that T-Bird, it had moon wheel discs on it. We thought that's cool, but they made him take them off so it didn't fly around the field. It was a great stand.
And the guy right there in the center of the screen, that is the 31 car, Brian Holt, the 63 Lincoln Continental, and he is still alive. So 2 of the cars, although he's got a little smoke on the water right now. The Wagon Reaper, he says we can take these big wide bodies out, but right now he's getting a lot more than he's given.
And the Oregonian, or the Washingtonian, I should say, Phil King in that 75 car. He came to play, and he's not about to give up. If you continue to get sheet metal to sheet metal, you've got a good chance of moving to the main event where the money is.
If we advance 2 non-wagons out of this, including one of those Holt boys, a couple of guys involved in the business here together, including Brian Holt. Steve, if we advance 2 non-wagons out of this, that'd be a huge upset.
Sure would. That's Brian Holt, the youngest of those 3 brothers, with the stacks out of the hood. It's kind of a neat look, but also you can tell when the motor's running. That's the main purpose for it.
Ooh, look at this. Phil King.
Yeah. Ugly.
Hey, that's attractive. Phil King, please show up and pick my daughter up in that car. But he is still running, and that's the key, especially at this juncture. He's kind of taking it out right there on Brian Holt in the 31 car. So the wagon wrecker is getting wrecked by the wagons right about now.
They took sledgehammers before the event and beat that sheet metal so that it would bend up like that instead of downward and interfered with the tires or did get down into the dirt.
I like the Beaker, the guy right there with the Mickey Mouse on the top. Oh, baby, there's a hit. Shelby Sachs in the 61 car, who was the Yuba City champion, looking to advance into the finals. Going to be very interesting. There are probably 8 or 9 cars that could make the cut and advance. 4 will definitely go. We'll have an alternate, the 75 car, Phil King, and that 73 wide-body Buick meets up right there with Brian Holt in the wagon wrecker.
You know, I asked the Beaker where he got that nickname. He says it goes back to when he was 5 years old and he had a big nose. He said, I grew into it, but never lost the nickname.
You seen the profile, you wouldn't ask where he got the name. That Shoeless Joe right there in the 8 car. And how about Shelby Sachs? He was running almost right to the end, and so is Phil King on the right side of the screen, the 75 car. There's Alan Woosley, the cream and rust color car. And rust is the least of his problems. The Demolition Determinator, adding them up. We'll find out who advances when we come back next.
Yeah, the boy's gonna snipe you, then sideswipe you. Better call Prudential, they're peeling you off the wall. You're gonna need a differential and a Tylenol.
Gift certificates for valuable automotive products from the fine Spar family at B&M Racing and Automotive, good friends of mine and Bob Price. And down in Hollandale, Florida, Crane Cams has all kinds of nice automotive products for these guys.
A lot of these guys are actually running those products. They said they built some of these engines just for the Derby because they said the bodies are one thing, but the engine's very important that that thing stays running. Well, let's find out how they did. How about the Beaker? Scott Gallegos wins. Shelby Sachs stays alive. We like the 75. And Jimmy Sinfeld and Darrell Howitt on the bubble, the alternate. Well, he did not make it, but if one of those 4 cannot advance, we'll see number 72 with his son in the championship round. Let's go down and join Timmy.
Amidst all the smoke, I'm here with the winner of heat number 2, Scott Gallegos. How are you, Scott?
I'm really hot right now, actually.
You got a mess over here. This is my sentimental favorite because this right here, folks, is the official Bondo Jones car. This looks just like the one we shot the video in.
Yes, it does. Looks almost identical.
Well, not quite identical. You kind of almost missing the front end here. You're going to be able to get this thing ready?
Yeah, we got enough spare parts. I do believe we can put it together. So my pit crew is very professional. They can put almost anything back together.
Well, if anybody can do it, Scott, you're my sentimental favorite for the rest of my life. From now on, when we're 80 years old, I hope that Scott Gallegos is out here kicking butt.
I will be.
Speaking of kicking butt, let's go over to the master, Bobby Gerald.
Thank you, Tim. I think that man needs a differential and a Tylenol. All right, here's second place, Shelby Sachs. Shelby, there's not a lot of race cars left there in the back. Is that going to be all right for the main event?
Oh, yeah, that'll be fine. We'll make 2 more derbies with this.
2 more derbies with that mess?
Oh, yeah. It's notch. It'll come up. No problem.
All right, it looks like an awful lot of damage to the layman, Steve.
Well, Bobby, I don't know about a differential and a Tylenol. I could use the Tylenol sometimes, but my diff's in pretty good shape. Okay, everybody, we got a lot more action to come. Smash and crash, rockin'.
Number 2, Tom Chivers. He placed second in last year's Western States Championship. His 4th Western U.S. title, 20 years of experience, and 46 main event wins. That's a lot of experience.
Yeah, it is.
46 wins.
We picked up a couple of winners. Hopefully, we haven't jinxed them. Let's go back to Reno, Nevada with Steve in the game.
Way to go. Burns goes with the dark horse, Steve.
You know, and that's a good choice. Chivers is such a dedicated Derby competitor. As we said, he was second last year and probably carries that number 2. But he'd really like to improve that by 1 digit. In fact, he remembers well just what took him down in 1996. Then in the 44 car, Chivers flying his dual flags. Just got a little too aggressive towards the middle of that final and took out the front end. The radiator went, the motor cooked, and that was it. He had to settle for second place.
And they're coming out and lining them up right now. Before we set the field, let's go down to Bob, 2 Tylenol and a differential Gerald.
Thank you very much, Bob. I'm standing next to the Pink Dog, number 70, Kelly Lampe. Kelly was going to be with us in Wichita, but the orchestra was a little bit out of tune. You had some illegal doings there. Kelly, first, let's show America the hair. Can we? Special, isn't it? Kelly, you're back here, and you were actually illegal when you showed up today, I heard.
Yes, I was. I had to cut a few welds, that deck lids in that where we come from, we can run, and they told us we cut them. So we cut them out, and we're here to run and put a show on for the crowd tonight.
Good luck to you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kelly is racing with a big fat knee brace on. He has had 2 knee reconstructions in the last 9 months, Tim Wilson.
Well, Bob Gerald, tell Bob Fry if he keeps using my song lyrics, I'm going to get him on copyright infringement. I'm down here with a 1974 New Yorker Insider from Sonora, California, Rick Roberts, great wedding planner. Is it true you got married at a demolition derby?
Yes, sir, I did, on July 15th of 1990.
Hopefully you're still married to her?
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, it's good you save money on bride and maid dresses and all that kind of stuff?
No, we didn't wear anything like that, and we did save some money. We just went out like this.
Well, how long did it take you to build this car, Rick?
About 2 months. Usually it takes me a little longer, but this one was just a throwaway, throw it together and stuff like that.
What's your wife's name?
Teddy Roberts.
Well, tell her I said hello. You say hello to her.
Hello, Teddy, and the TNN says hi, too.
Good luck, Rick.
Say hi to my mom and all my friends at Chicken Ranch Bingo, and hope everybody has a good time. And,
hey, whatever you do, Rick, don't mention 2 Tylenol and a differential. You have a lawsuit slapped on you. Hey, there's a look at Ralph Garcia. He'll be driving the 63 X-Card. He's one of the guys with a reputation as a huge hitter on the demo derby circuit. And one reason might be that his demolition derbying is part of a much bigger purpose, because on and off the track, Ralph is a man on a mission.
We only have one environment, and we have to recycle to take care of it.
Ralph Garcia knows our society has a serious problem with waste management, and he's actively looking for recycling solutions from which we will all benefit.
Nature is the greatest teacher in recycling. We could take a lesson from her and keep things from landing in our landfills and keep this country a cleaner place for everybody. As far as I'm concerned, recycling is really important to me, not just as part of my job, but as part of my way of life.
Ralph applies his environmental commitment to every aspect of his life, including his love of demolition derby. He's dedicated to educating the public on the combined benefits of recycling and the derbies.
Recycling saves billions and billions of dollars. Take this old Heat, for instance. I'm going to recycle it, make a demolition derby car out of it. Then it might end up like one of these. And then I'll take it to a crusher. And then it'll be recycled again. It might end up as somebody's new vehicle. I'm doing my part to recycle. How about you?
Hey, I'm in, Ralph, and good luck tonight with a great attitude like that, and certainly words to recycle by. Okay, at the Nevada State Fair, they're having some kind of fun over on the Midway. That's not for me, but for you people that enjoy those sort of things, stop by. I got a free pass for you.
Free. There he is, the Derby King, Tommy Chivers. Matt Bradley rides a 58 Mercury out of Woodland, California. In the 11 car, Rick Roberts, 13 years in the demos, and Billy Gregory, they call him Pee-wee, in the 17 car. Doug Holt's here today, owns the auto dismantling business, right place at the right time. Travis Deitch, hey, I don't write him, I just read him. Frank Gonzalez in the 26 car, and Johnny Woods with a 64 Mercury and a big block Cadillac for power. John Cavazos in the 74 Caprice, or Jason, I'm sorry, and Jason Atkins in a 74 T-Bird. Dean Clark will be running here in the 45 car, and Rich Bradley rides with the number 48 out of Nevada. Mike Olmstead, the North Valley Auto Wreckers entry, and Jimmy Bickley hoping to win. This is his first start. Mike Abel, always on the logs, they call him. He hopes he's not there today. And the Wolfman, Ralph Garcia. Mike Slaney in the 68 car here, and Kelly Lampe, that's the old redhead, or probably the new redhead. That's the Nebraska Invader. Roger Raley in 76, Kenny Mosley in a 56 DeSoto from Yuba City, and Mike Bachmeyer, that's the Washington State champion. He's rounding out this star-studded field.
And here's our in-car, or crash cam. It'll be Rick Roberts in number 11. And let me give you my dark horse. I like Matt Bradley, number 5. We'll see him in a minute. A 58 Mercury station wagon. And I remember in the late 60s, early 70s, they were the Chrysler Imperials of Demolition Derby. Couldn't be beat. Third heat is underway. Just about 12 minutes of what you're looking at right now. 21 cars. Jason Cavazos in the 36 car low. You see a couple of wagons. Oh, big hit right there. Great run as he took a shot. The onboard camera looking to get a whack there or avoid getting one, Steve. Rick Roberts is hunting. He didn't like what he saw. He grabbed reverse. Oh, and he took a shot himself right to the radiator. He didn't need that. Ricky, come on, let's go, boy. That's the 11 car, the onboard camera, not a station wagon. And again, we are on board here with Rick. 13 years he's been doing this, and he's running right along the berms on the outside. And you know, Bob, you spend so much time looking over your shoulder. Maybe if you had a rear view mirror, actually a front view mirror mounted by the back window, you could see that stuff coming. Big field, 21 cars went to the post. A lot of hits right in the center there. They're all bunched up there, though, Steve. Nobody will get enough speed to really have some damage. And the later you... And there is car number 63. That's Ralph Garcia, Ralph the recycler, the Wolfman. He won the Anderson Derby just a few weeks ago. He is a big-time runner. Would be a surprise if he did not advance to the finals. Right now, he's probably not making a lot of noise vocally, but trying to do it with that race car. Well, I'll tell you what, I bet he agreed with Wolfman Jack checked out, huh? Slaney in the 68 car right there. He has won earlier this year 2 derbies and won the title of the most aggressive driver. You just saw the 80 car go by. He's the Washington State champion. And right there is Kelly Lampe. That's the guy we met earlier with that really gorgeous hair. The only guy with hair that actually, well, almost matches the color of the car. Big whack right there. Yeah, and he's taken some abuse to that knee as well. He's had, as Bobby said, a couple of knee injuries, but he's driving hurt. Another NWO car for all the wrestling fans. Kelly Lampe is one of the real good finishers. Looking for the win, but right now he'd be happy just to transfer over to the final main event. There's a logjam right down there at the lower part of the screen. A lot of cars not moving early here in the Derby. Jason Atkins in the 40 car kind of searching and trying to stay out of battle, but right there, Roger Whaley, he's the one that we had the studio car to watch. Katie, your boy's not doing real good right now. Yep, that was Katie's car right there, and he just does not. Can't get off. Oh, he got a little bit of help. Inadvertently, another competitor whacked him out of his problem. Shivers in the 2 car was one of the guys that moved out of that jam there. The big Derby King, the runner-up in 96. And surprisingly enough, the 80 car, that's the car out of Washington State. Look at him spin Rick Roberts right around right there, the Sonora runner. And there, too, that's Tom Chivers. Bobby Gerald, what you got down there?
Well, John Woods actually, in number 32, actually went all the way over this berm, and he made contact with the concrete. It's the concrete that separates the track from the stands. He tried to get back out onto the Derby pit, and now he's high-centered. Looks like John Woods is going to be done.
There are 3 team cars with those same colors, no station wagons. That's a 64 Merc. Look at that big hit by the Wolfman. He took an arena shot, Steve, right from one side to the other, and he just about demolished one of his competitors. In remarkably good shape is Garcia. Oh, yeah, you can't give him that kind of running room or Ralph will just bury you. Wait a minute. Here's a guy that looks like Wolfman, demos for a living, and he's a closet Barney fan. Go figure. It's not that he's a Barney fan that surprised me. It's a closet start. Look at that. Good run from Rich Roberts, the number 11 car from Sonora. And he, too, got a good start all the way across. And there's that Mercury wagon. That is a big, solid car. That's it right there. I looked at it earlier. It's got a lot of body rot and frame rust in it. If it'll hold together, it's got a shot at making the finals. And we're going to take you. We'll show you who transfers when we come back for the remainder of heat number 3. Hang in there.
The Demolition Derby man. He's all the wreck one car can stand.
Holt Jr. in the number 19 car, the Ace Auto Records machine, owns his own auto dismantling shop, 96 Fresno champ, part of the brother tandem here, and he is not looking good right now.
No, he's not. He's the oldest of the 3 brothers, actually. A lot of drivers out there not looking too good right now, but Tom Chivers, as far as I'm concerned, he's got a lock on the main. It just a matter of deciding who the other three are at this point.
Mike Olmsted in the 51 car was having a pretty good time of it until he got taken out just a couple of minutes. A Buddy Holly fan. Let's check down with Tim Wilson, who's also a big Buddy Holly fan.
I'm going to start a new segment on the show called Previous Owner Segment. This is Elizabeth Snyder. She was the previous owner of car number 51. Elizabeth, you didn't even know Mike, did you?
Huh?
You don't even know Mike, the driver, do you?
Yeah, I do. He came to my house for a year and a half to buy the car from me for doing this.
How much did you pay for it?
I paid $1,400 for it. I put 80,000 miles on it, and I sold it to him for $300.
Well, you saw it in the showroom, and now you're going to see it at the funeral home.
Hey, the good thing is when she sold it, she only had 3 payments left on it. And that car is still doing well. That's the one right there, the 51 car we were talking about. Kelly Lampe's got big problems. But look at the Wolfman Garcia taking a couple of whacks here. But, Steve, he is in remarkably good shape. There's Chivers, and the 5 car is Matt Bradley with that 58 Mercury. Still doing a great job. Garcia is doing a wonderful job piling up the points.
And did you see that Merc chase him down like it was a dog? But Garcia suffered very little damage in that. It was just kind of almost a little love affair going down there.
One of Dutch Holland's team derbies. The Mercury still sitting there now. There's Lampe. That's the guy here. Feels like my career here. Talk about spinning your wheels. Now, he needs the same thing that Doyle did in Heat 1. Needs somebody to come over and take the dog out of trouble right there. Love the fire suit, Steve. If Tim Wilson ran a demo derby car, that would be his fire suit. Look at him waving the guys on, saying, come on, hit me. Get me out of this stuff. Tom Chivers in the 2 car right there may have ended his round. Mike Backmeyer, the Washington State champion, a great job right here with that 2-door, 4,400-pound car, wanting to show the California and Nevada boys how it's done.
And he's not stupid. The television camera can very easily find that great big number 80 on the roof of that automobile, as can we.
Mike Abel with a love tap there. That is his own business there, the Calpac Milling team. He says he is always on the log. 7th Derby, bid him money a couple of times right here.
How about Chivers?
He just waltzes right around Chivers.
Yeah, Chivers has got his nose stuck maybe where it didn't belong.
Travis Deutsch doing a surprisingly good job. That is he right there in the 25 car, doing a marvelous job. Young kid, 4th Derby of the year, in it for the fun, hasn't won, but staying out of trouble, and he gets taken out right there by Garcia in the 63 car, the Wolfman. But this could be a story right here. Very young kid. The fellow with the cowboy hat, we saw him, whoop, little problem there in the front, Steve. Got to be a technical term, but he's enjoying life.
Yes, he is, from Colderville, California. Kind of a bumpy ride right now. That front end would be tough to repair, and it's getting worse by the second.
And look at the guys right out the middle. Chivers doesn't look like he's going to be able to pile up some points. The 80 car Backmeyer, he's got some trouble. And that Mercury is still running.
This looks like one of those scenes after the accident of the Valley Fog they have on Highway 5 up near Sacramento, not too far from here every year, where there's like 200 cars involved in one giant deal.
Or rush hour, the New York City cab driver said. They get paid for this? Hey, let's get down to Bobby Gerald. Who you with, Bob?
I'm with Ramon Herrera. He's a crew member for Ralph Garcia in the 63. How's Ralph doing so far?
He's doing great. He's getting a lot of points, a lot of good hits.
Let me ask you this. Being as environmentally conscious as he is, does he make you recycle your cans?
Yes, he does.
That's right. If you're in the pits with Ralph Garcia, remember to save those aluminum cans.
Just don't let Tim Wilson loose in asking people about their cans. Garcia with a monster hit right there. He's going to really try to make life tough for Bradley. That's the 5 car that he just took out right there. Matt Bradley in that 58 Merc, and Garcia, I think he's a lead pipe cinch, Steve, to advance as we take a look at Jason Atkins in that 74 T-Bird. Neat little paint job on that car with a 460 Ford big motor.
Yeah, but painted almost like modern art, where they just splash different colors of paint onto a canvas. Actually turned out pretty good. I like my dark horse. I tell you, Matt Bradley, my old 58 Lincoln, or Mercury rather, wagon just might have a shot.
Bradley.
There's Matt.
Yep, doing a wonderful, wonderful job. You know, I read this when they told us he was starting this stuff at 4 years old, and he hasn't looked back. He loved the construction of this big Mercury, and they were really big wide bodies. Early going Garcia right there, still making some hits, just taking out anybody that gets in his way as he just kind of rubbed out his crew member, kind of taking a look out there and going, that's my boy. And he's really whacking Travis Deutsch, and I think Travis looking to call this puppy off. 2 more minutes, look like the signal there, or hit 2 more guys, or the victory sign. Garcia doing a wonderful job. Jason Cavazos was the latest victim right there in the 36 car.
And some of the drivers now appear to be kind of casual about things, as if, hey, look, we've done all the damage we can do to ourselves and others, but apparently there's a little time left here. We haven't seen the Determinator Dutch Holland call a halt to this war here.
Garcia said the key here, keep your head on. He's going to take a couple of little whacks right there.
It's over.
But Dutch Holland and the Demolition Determinator says time is up. I mean, if Garcia didn't win this one, it'll be one of the biggest upsets in demo history, and I'm sure we could all wrap down and line up all those other great big upsets in demo derby history. We'll find out if indeed it was the Wolfman advancing. Stick around. Motor Madness coming back to Nevada.
He's a demolition derby man. He's all the wreck one car can stand. And every woman here is a Bondo fan.
That was still going there at the end. You surprised yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it ran real good. Got no complaints. From what they tell me, the car looks good, so looking good for the main tonight.
All right, Ralph Garcia is confident. He's definitely going to be a player in that feature.
There he is, as he really did put some big-time hits on there, and the car is in remarkably good shape. He's got to be the odds-on favorite going into that championship coming up a little bit later on. Can't say the same for the old boys. T-Bird right there as they got taken out. There you go. Hey, the signs we were looking for earlier, the good folks in Victory Lane. Nice. Thanks to the guys from B&M Racing and Performance Products and all the nice folks down in Florida from Crane Cams. We appreciate all their help during the year here on the Demo Derbies. Lots of stuff going to the guys that win here at the Western States Smash-a-thon here in Reno, Nevada. More coming up.
Oh, boy.
It's Tim Palacios and Tom Andreary. He'll also be going at it in this heat. In the number 12 car, it's going to be Mike Nelson here with his wife Debbie. Said, please say hi to Katie. Hey, I haven't got time to do that. Brad Carlson in the 13 car. Rick Sinfellow, 15 years. He's been doing this. And RJ, I'm no relation to Katie, in the number 18 car. Doug Crunch, you saw him in the 24 spot. That is Bobby Sperling. And Phil Brown driving for Jimmy Kuzak in the 27 car because Jimmy broke his arm. Number 33, it's Terry Cleve out of Nevada, and Mike Mueller, 33-year-old mechanic, in his third derby. Number 41 with a 74 Chevy, the auto wrecking yard operator with a big block, Dwight Medic, and it's going to be Eric Trash Can Williams. You'll see more about that in the 42 hole. Speedy Leach drives the number 47 car out of Silver Springs, and Kelvin Elbert with a 1959 Ford with a Chrysler engine. A lot of them out there. John Falley in the number 52 car with a Mark IV. Ken Staggs out of Reno. In the number 59 car, Mark Rankin with a Cadillac, a 6-year veteran. And it's Norm Woodrum in the 76 Dodge. Randy Skinner, number 71, rounds out your field in the fourth and final heat. Let's go down courtside to Bobby Gerald.
Courtside, derby side, somewhere. Here's Jim Kuzak, who has the cast on his arm. Now, you were supposed to race in this, and how'd you break your arm, man?
I broke my arm at work on a forklift, so Phil Brown's driving the cycle car tonight.
Are you bummed?
Yes, I am.
Disappointment on his face. He'd like to be out there smashing and crashing, but you can't do that with a broken arm.
There's the Crunch car, the 24 machine, as they line them up. Mark Rankin and that Cadillac in number 59. They are loaded here. There's the Red Line oil car. That's Randy Skinner, 36 years old. Muffler shop owner, been doing this here. The Demolition Determinator getting set to send him into battle. And Steve, we should mention, cars in the fourth heat have the least amount of time to get their babies ready for that final.
I tell you, it was funny in the drivers' meeting. Dutch Holland was in there with his bullhorn and everybody paying attention. And Dutch Holland says, oh, he said, along with my TNN friends, he said, I had a good night on the crap table last night, so I've decided to select the best appearing car. He did, and right there, handed the guy the trophy and $100. The guy went, hey, thanks, Dutch.
It's a good thing he didn't lose. What would they be doing? Repoing some of those paint jobs?
Everybody paid another 100.
Got a couple of the guys here that painted their cars last night. The guy, the number 5 car that we just saw in the last heat, built the car yesterday, painted it last night. Some of these were actually spray painting them. There's a trash can we talked about right in the center of the screen. He's got an actual, honest-to-goodness trash can bolted to the roof. Steve, is that going to make it the distance?
The trash can might, but I got the lid will.
Oh, man, what a hit. Right out of the box. Trash can man. Eric Williams with a monster move. An arena shot from one side to the other. Mark Rankin in the 59 car. That's the Cadillac out of Sun Valley. And look at Kevin Elbert in that 59 Ford running backwards. Sounded like the poster boy for the Bondo Jones car.
59 car taking another one of those, as you call it, arena shots. That's Mark Rankin from Sun Valley, which is just a few miles away. And here is our crash cam, Tim Palacios, Courville, California, over between Sacramento and San Francisco.
Trying to chase the trash can man. Palacios, a big hitter. I would have to think he's got a good chance to advance. In Drury, right there, the 7 car, looking at him, he's got a good chance to advance. Now, we're going to watch again on the start a very big hit. Watch this.
This is right at the start.
Man, that's what you want to do. Take the other guy out before he even hits the gas. There's the Palacios car, number 33, the skull and crossbones and TNN on the logo. That's kind of like a mismatch. It's like the piano player's Porsche. A part-time librarian.
And a part-time library, apparently.
Big runner. So they got a lot of cars here. The 16 car, Rick Sinfellow, and a big smash up there. There's the 50 car, Kevin Elber in that 59 Ford. Here you go, on board. Oh, watch this.
Tim's going after him. Oh, this is going to hurt.
Oh, baby. Oh, the other guy took it. Look at that, the crunch. 24 cars comes in.
Bob Sperling from California, Rancho Cordova. He saw the damage Palacios had done and decided to have some fun, too.
And survived it. The 27 car right there is Phil Brown. Watch it on the replay, that last big hit from the in-car. Oh, man. Oh, the other guy took it. Look at that.
And there's 24, interstage right, Bob Sperling.
The 71 Red Line oil car. And here comes the 59 machine. Love that car. The Cadillac, 6-year veteran, the Sun Valley runner. And he is really whacking on these big wide-body wagons.
Remember at the top of the show, I said we are back in the home of the heavy hitters.
Oh,
there it is. 59 just hangs up 24. Mark Rankin. That could have been a crucial blow to Bob Sperling.
Yep, took out the crunch right there. There you see them. They're both locked up. And it looks like Phil Brown, who is driving for the injured Jimmy Kruzak's going to stay alive. There's a neat paint job. Don't know how they missed that one in the best appearance. John Falley and the Lincoln Mark IV.
Bob Sperling got back underway in that 24 car.
Trash can car is staying alive. John Falley staying alive. A couple of our boys locked up there. DeCrunch is still in there. Our crash cam is still in there. Dwight Medic, number 41, has been staying out of trouble. That 74 Chevrolet finished 4th in his heat. Oh, man. Wow, they are just demolishing the Jeff Gordon lookalike.
The 24 car is taking more hits, but as long as the rear end stays in it, he keeps moving. But I don't think it did this time.
Somewhere down there in the Carolinas, the guy with the number 3 hat saying, that's the way to do it. Take out that 24.
Rusty Wallace. This is Bristol this weekend.
Oh, wow. Tim Palacios, he's got our in-car camera. He is still doing a wonderful job trying to take out the 42 car, the trash can man, and he just running backwards over anybody that gets in his way.
And the drivers that qualify out of the 4th heat have less time than any of their fellow competitors in the main event to get ready, but I don't think that's in anybody's mind right now. Palacios, he's just hunting for something to hit.
He finished 5th last year and wants to make amends. And here comes the trash can, taking out the Red Line oil car, and he gets bumped by that Lincoln Mark.
And keeping the lid on it to boot.
Brad Carlson's the 13X car right there. That's the Dixon Auto Parts machine. Quietly staying alive. He is a 10-time California state champion. They got some problems right there. The 37 car, Mike Mueller, the mechanic, has got big trouble. And there's our guy with the flame on both ends of the race car. Coming out the exhaust and out the back of the race car. And Steve, he looks like he's remarkably in good condition.
And judging by the fire out of the pipes, and the hit he just took, I'd say he's jumped the timing chain.
Rick Sinfellow's doing a pretty good job right there. There's some cars that are doing a wonderful job. We'll find out who stays alive, who advances to the main when we come back to Nevada next.
With the gas floor, against the dashboard, there goes your bumper. Better get the wrecker warned. You feel like an Iraqi in the desert storm.
You're on board with Tim Palacios in the crash cam. He was taking some whacks right there. There he is. That's the number 3 car. There were some big hits. The Crunch car 24, dead in the water. 52, John Falley, who has raced in 1 Derby and 1 win. And is back here in his second. Had some monster hits while we were away.
The 24 car, Bob Sperling, he had to wave off. He just couldn't take any more hits. A little bit of a fire out there. Fire out of some of the pipes where the distributors have come apart internally. And the spark isn't going to the right spark plugs.
There's Dwight Medic, 20-year veteran. He made it to the finals last year, and they might have red flagged us down there because I don't believe the time limit was up. They're going to get down and take a look at Kenny Staggs in the 57 car right out in the middle as we've been very fire-free, unlike what we saw up at the Erie County Fair, but they're going to spray down that 57 car. That's the Reno, Nevada winner, the Sign Wizard.
A lot of those small cars we saw at the Erie County Fair, Ken Staggs can tell you this is true. They use a different fuel system. They were later model cars that have the fuel pumps within the gas tanks, and that was something that was expected and certainly had enough firemen on hand to put them out, about 1,800 of them.
Well, the good news is that they put out Ken Staggs right there, but he's not going to do much. Sinfeller and Carlson with the 13 car. There we go. That's Dwight Medic in the 41 car. Bobby, it looks like a mess from our vantage point.
Thing is, if Dwight Medic doesn't win this, there's no justice in the world. He has been absolutely crushing people in this heat race. We haven't seen hits like he's been putting on since Vic Whaley early in the year, I believe, at Orlando. Dwight Medic has been awesome in the 41.
Well, I tell you, he's almost driving a roadster here. The roof's about to come off of that old wagon.
But that is the least of his problems. Look at Palacios, the number 3 car. He is still doing a wonderful job and making a lot of hits and moving real well. Here you go now. Just search and destroy. Come on, Timmy. Don't fail us now.
Oh, and that was a hit that scored very nicely against Rick Sinfellow.
Yeah, and Sinfellow's probably going to advance if he can keep that thing running a little bit. It's one of the few non-wagons in this heat. Right there's Palacios, and the 24 car crunch, he's done. The Red Line Oil car still doing well. That's the 71, and man, another big hit by Dwight Medic. That's Bobby Gerald's pick to advance it into the finals. There are a surprising amount of cars running still, Steve, as we look again on board, that are not station wagons.
Well, I'm going to... I tell you, I think that 41 car of Dwight Medic is going to go to the final as well, and that 3 car of Palacios. I think that's a given.
I like the trash can man. He's doing good. You're again looking on board. Here we go. He can take another good shot for us. Here goes. Boy, that looks like it hurts. Isn't that what Bondo Jones said? That was the trash can car that he hit. He's then taking aim at Tom Indreary. I don't think Indreary's going to make it. He was a pick. Randy Skinner, the 71 car. As we take a look, still Dwight Medic. I got to agree with Bobby Gerald. Watch this. Here comes number 3. Look at that. Palacios just drilled Mark Rankin. Now, Randy Skinner coming back from that retirement. He has done a wonderful job. First time back in a couple of years, and I believe that Skinner in the red line car is going to go to the finals.
I think you're right. I think Bobby's right with Dwight Medic. I think we're all right with Tim Palacios. But we're not the judges.
Our best appearing car right there, number 12, is also still moving. This is going to be the hardest one to score, Steve, because there are a lot of cars that are making some big hits. The trash can car is good. Our best appearing right there, Mike Nelson is still in. No matter which way the flames are going, I thought he was dead in the water a while ago. Palacios and the 3 cars looking good. The red line oil car is doing good. Here comes Timmy. Watch it. Oh, man. He took Brad Carlson right out of there.
I'll tell you the problem with the 24 car, some of them just don't have enough muscle left, their best appearing car, rather number 12, to really inflict any damage. And even though they make contact, it doesn't score. Let's have another look at this. Oh, you're a chiropractor. You're going to love this.
The 59 car stuck. Rankin with that Cadillac. He was making some good hits. A lot of damage to back. He's stuck there. And we're going to take a look again. Boy, I'll tell you, Randy Skinner, jamming's the only word that I can think of. Palacios takes a monster hit right there from Sinfellow and Carlson. They both took him out. Doesn't look like he's got any problems to me, Steve.
No, you saw him reach down and use that direct shifter that we talked about in that piece.
Here comes.
Get it out of reverse. He's going to take a hit in the right door.
Actually, Palacios in the 3 car was taken out before he got to him. Oh, man, the onboard camera really paying for itself right here. There you go. You're on board. He's going to look to take dead aim at somebody.
Well, he's doing a lot of hitting with that front end. I don't wonder about that.
Well, the trash can car is still good. I like Brad Carlson. There is Tim Palacios. And there aren't a whole lot of moving bodies out there. And we're going to get another red flag. They're going to go out. Believe it or not, the poor guy, Kenny Staggs, who took the hit earlier and was dead in the water. And they're going to go out and check him again. I mean, he can catch fire twice, and he wasn't even bothering anybody.
And I would tell you, this kind of hitting at this kind of speed, it's a tribute to Dutch Holland and his organization. There's Dutch right on cue. Thank you, Truck. He makes these cars build safe cars. He just doesn't let them knock the glass out of them. They got to move the gas tanks. They've got to move the batteries. They got to change things down. They've got to make these cars safe. They can put on a good show for the fans and their own families. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yeah, the boy's gonna snipe you, they're gonna sideswipe you. Better call Prudential, they're peeling you off the wall. You're gonna need a differential and a Tylenol.
Still
else looked good, so ready to go.
You watch the rest of those heats. Do you think that you'll have what it takes to get the job done? Because there were some big hits in that final heat.
Yeah, I hope to have. It was pretty hard. I didn't get to see that last one, but I'm looking to, you know, do my job, keep my head on.
Well, just like Steve Evans said, if you can't cut and weld, wrong sport for you. And the Wolfman was doing all kinds of cutting down here, Steve.
Well, he sure was, and right now we can tell you who is going to be in this final here at the Western States Smash-a-thon.
There's our Heat 1 winner, Jose AYON, and Ken Howard also advancing, hoping to make his dad proud here today. We'll take a look at the rest of the grid. David Boyle out of number 74, and Mike Doyle, the big guy, number 1. Mad Mike looking to repeat here his 96 championship. Scott Gallegos, the Beaker, back after a year sitting out. A real surprise, Shelby Sachs, the Yorba City winner, goes to the finals. Phil King, the Washington State champion, and hard-hitting Jimmy Sinfellow in the 15 car. Ralph Garcia, you saw him just a moment ago, the Wolfman, and Matt Bradley bought the car yesterday. That's the Buds Towing, Adam Towing entry. Mike Abel, number 60, we saw him working on his piece just a moment ago. And it'll be also Tom Indriri, the number 7 car advancing. Dwight Medic, the big hitter. That was Bobby's pick. And Tim Palacios, the number 3 guy. I mean, it is a star-studded lineup as they go into the championship heat. The heat winner was Medic. Randy Skinner in the Red Line Oil car, the Martinez winner. And number 52 quietly snuck into it with that Mark IV. They're the ones that survived, made it into the finals. Well on those babies. Come back for the big hits in just a moment. Pit area. These guys going to make it?
I don't know. This is Dwight Medic, who won the last heat. He was the biggest hitter out there, but unfortunately, he's got to change a tire. And to get to that tire, they need to do a whole lot of cutting. They're running out of time. Dwight, what's the story? Do you think you'll make it?
Oh, I'll tell you, it's going to take probably another 5 minutes to get a tire on there. I hope we got enough time.
Got a small inferno going right now. Is that going to be a problem?
No. If we can get a tire on there, I lost my radiator, but I'm just going to run like it is.
All right, I don't know if they're going to be able to make it or not, but it makes for some exciting pictures here, doesn't it?
Wow, holy flaming tire, Batman. Man. That's one of the reasons that Dutch makes them take those gas tanks out of the back of those cars and relocate a couple of gallons in like a marine outboard container way up front, away from all of this.
That's also the problem with being the 4th heat. You got a little bit of time, but it's just the luck of the draw. Jose AYON, Scott Gallegos, Medic, and Ralph Garcia were the heat winners. Let's go back and see how things are going down with the Sumo crew in Charlotte.
All right, thanks very much, Steve Evans. Now, guys, I don't know. I've been around Winston Cup racing a long time, but how can they get that car back in the show?
They need to cut a bunch more stuff off.
It looks like it. I mean, they're pulling tires off and they're on fire, and he's going to go back in the big show. I mean, how do you do that, John? I mean, it looks like those things can barely run, and they get them back in.
You got to have a good pit crew. A lot of guys willing to help you beat on your car and change things, and you can get them rolling again.
But you don't have much time to make decisions. I mean,
they're going to start this thing. I don't think he's going to make the cut. But for a guy that's done this for 2 decades, he knows that sometimes time just runs out. There's Palacios as we get set to go for the final.
Yep, there's the number 3 car. The 63 in Charlotte, and here in this booth rates a pretty heavy favorite, Ralph Garcia.
Steve, as we look out there, you will not see a lot of non-station wagons. We're going to see as Medic's gang still would love to get him out there, but I do believe the time is just going to run out on Dwight Medic. The car with its back to the camera right there, that's one of the few non-wagons. John Foley in the Mark IV pad, he might be the only non-station wagon here advancing to the championship round. There's some big hitters. There's Garcia, the 63X car, and right there is Palacios going after him in the 3 car.
And there is no holding back now, no pacing yourself. You hit as hard and as often as you possibly can. And it is not necessarily the last car moving. It may turn out to be that way as we go on board with Palacios, but it may just be time.
And I should also say that Darrell Howitt, the dad, got into this final. Look at this. There's 2 of the big hitters right there. Palacios with the onboard right into the Wolfman. And how about Phil King? He's got big troubles. Hung up on the berm, and what a monster hit right there. Mike Doyle, the defending champ, took a whack. There's the Alaskan car sitting right there. There's the Beaker, and oh, baby, are they just nailing each other. And look at the kid, the 25 car, doing a wonderful job.
There must have been several cars that went to the main that couldn't make it because Jack Kennedy with the Moose Antlers was an alternate and got in.
And so is Travis Deitch, who is advanced. That's the kid in the 25 car. He's got a lot of speed, more than we say right there for those guys who are really jammed up. Jose AYON, the 22 car, was the heat #1 winner. He's had a lot of time to get ready for the finals. Bobby, what's the story from your vantage point?
Well, it's disappointment for Dwight Medic, who is still back here in the pits. He didn't get a chance to get out there. How disappointing is this?
How does winning feel? Oh, winning.
How disappointing is it?
Oh, it was a little sad not being able. Another 5 minutes and I'd have been out there.
You seem awfully reserved. I thought you'd be a little more upset.
No, just I enjoy the sport. You know, if I'm there, okay. If not, you know, next year.
Well, Steve Evans, you talked about it in the open of the show. These guys are out here to have fun. There's a prime example because I think I'd be kind of ticked off.
Hey, life's too short, man. We're out here at the Nevada State Fair to have fun with our friends.
There were big, big smashes. Now watch this. There he is sitting up on the berm, the 75 car. We'll take a look again on replay. Oh, that was nasty. He took a big whack. Mike Doyle right there in the 1 car served up part of it, and he's still sitting there. And there's the Mark IV behind him as Phil King made it here by getting out of the heat 2. The Mark IV is still there, and look, all wagons still in the middle. Big, big hits.
Yep, the 75 car, he's not going to get off that berm unless some friend goes around on the outside, pushes him back in, and that is unlikely.
The 25 car could be the sleeper in the field right there because he's staying out of trouble, and he's got a lot of speed. In the middle, that's Howard, the 72 car that just got turned right around. And that's Travis Deitch, the number 25 car. Look at that. He's got a picture of himself up on the head, on the roof of the car there. Well, looks a little bit like him when he's got his cowboy hat on.
Or Tim Wilson.
Doing a great job, the kid.
Some of these cars are starting to look like the Eastern Modifieds we've covered 2 years ago here on TNN. The dirt cars, the flat roofs, sheet metal bodies, and they're almost unrecognizable.
Deitch in as an alternate, and Garcia, the 63 car, and Brad Carlson, the 10-time champ. Jose AYON right there, the 22 car, the heat winner from #1, and our defending champion in the 1 car, not doing a lot of hitting right now. There is Darrell Howard. He made it into the finals. What a story it'd be, Steve.
Another alternate.
If he won this thing. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, and how about that off the ground?
Not going to win it that way. That was Mike Slaney, the 68 car.
And there's Steve Palacio, the 3 car, trying to score a little bit. But, boy, that's dangerous when you're hitting with a naked rear tire.
They got quite a few. Oh, look at that. The front tire falls right off of Slaney's car as he goes off to make a shot. Took a big hit right there, and Garcia, the 63 car, looks like he might be on the way to the championship.
We are redefining the term rambling wrecks.
Boy, the 70 car just getting his brains beat out in the center of the track there.
Almost getting upside down.
That's the redhead, Kelly Lampe, and he got in as an alternate. Up, there's trouble. Smoke on the water, and that's not good.
Yeah, but it'll keep running long enough to finish this main event.
Mike Abel, that's the guy that they were welding on when we came back from the 1 break, and a big hit by Palacios. The onboard camera, and he really got slammed and spun around right there.
They got him cornered. They got Palacios cornered, and they're working him over. This is a mugging in Nevada.
A big-time runner. The tire came right off the front of that car. We'll take a look at that on replay from a few moments ago. This is trouble. Yep. Mike Slaney was doing a wonderful job until his wheels fell off.
Broke the upper A-arm, the kingpin. That was it.
Shelby Sachs making some good hits in the 61 car. Gallegos, the Beager, and how about Howard, the U.S. Reynolds entry, staying alive? That'd be some story.
Yeah, so's the 22 car out there. Jose, he's still hitting and banging. He told me before we did the open, he said, I'll win this thing tonight.
He's that guy with the no water approach to this thing.
Yep. Says, don't need it. I said, you got a lot of trick chemicals in the O. He said, nope, that's just a gimmick.
Kelly Lampe, the number 70 car, and still trying to keep it running is Mike Slaney. The wheel didn't come completely off, and he's still getting some wax in there.
I think we got a little too much camber on the left front of Mike Slaney's car. The orange crusher is pretty well crushed.
Did you see Palacios just got lifted right up off all fours?
I think Palacios has greased that car up before he went out. He has slipped out of some of the worst situations, and he does it again.
And Steve, the interesting thing, we talked before about how they notch them so they will move up. And his car is bending up and keeping away from the wheel.
And his little TNN letters are standing tall. Uh-oh, he's in a rut he may not be able to get out of now. Let's see. Boy, when I count this guy out, he's gone again. Look, he's going to escape.
and Howard is right there with him in the 72 car. You can see what it looks like from Timmy's point of view. I don't know if you can find any help for this in the Dewey Decimal System. The 61 car doing a wonderful job. Selby Sachs, the Yuba City winner. And once again, there comes the 70 car, and they're just slamming. Kelly Lampe's doing a marvelous job right there. Doing a great, great job as Lampe. Palacios, Howard, a couple of the big hitters kind of meeting right together over there, and that's the onboard car. Here it is again.
Well, this is narrowing down now to about 4 cars that could still win this thing. Bobby Gerald, how's it look from down there? About 4 or 5 cars.
Yeah, I think so. Dutch Holland standing by, the Demolition Determinator. Dutch, who's looking good so far?
They're all looking real good, Bobby. 70, 28, 63. It's going to be a tough one to pick.
All right, 70, 28, and 63 are 3 right off the top of the Demolition Determinator's head. And number 70, that'd be big because that's the pink dog, Kelly Lampe, who, as you guys said, made it in as an alternate. He might win this thing.
And Ralph Garcia and the Beaker. There he is. We just talked about him. He got that wonderful hair color styling. Hey, if we could get the guy from the Erie County Fair, the hairdresser, to work on this guy, I think we could have a great team. There's the Beaker. He is in big trouble. Gallegos and everything hasn't derbied since right here last year. And that is no Mickey Mouse operation, but he is in trouble, Steve. I don't think he's going anywhere.
That car looks like it hit the wall at Daytona at about 190 miles an hour. He is trying to crank it, but I think all is for naught. He has not waved off yet, however. They could still poke him another time if they want to.
Garcia, Howitt, and how about the kid right there, Travis Stipes? This would be stunning if he could come up. Look at that. He is really pumped. He has gone after Garcia, the Wolfman. Travis Stipes in the 25 car.
You know, and there is 60.
That's the guy we saw trying to weld it, get it back. Mike Abel, relatively newcomer to this sport. Tim, how's it look from your vantage point? Looks like guys are scrambling for help.
Man, I feel like I'm in the middle of D-Day down here. I'm with Jim Sinfella. Jim, do you know who hit you?
One of the California guys. I mean, I'm no pride about the only Nevada guy out here, but I did a wrong move, and that's what you get put up on the berm.
You're blowing water out of your radiator, and you're sitting up here in about, what, 10 feet of dirt, so. Good job earlier, though. In that other heat, you were kicking people's butts out there.
I don't think there's any territorial stuff going on right here. He's the Bash Mobile car from right down the road here, the Nevada boy, but he is not going to advance. There are still some great runners. Mike Slaney with that 68 car is still doing a wonderful job. Big hit by Kelly Lampe. Watch this. Oh, Lampe in the 70 car now looks like he might be the favorite.
Notice how much slower our French camera is moving now. He hasn't got a whole lot of power. He hasn't got a whole lot of automobile left.
That's Garcia. Palacios that you just looked at. There's Palacios. He's going to get a whack. Oh, and Lampe turned right out of his way. Great move by Lampe in the 70 car.
And let's remember, Bobby Dutch Holland, he is really the determinator. There are 4 judges all the way around this arena that turn in their scores, so it could go another way.
There, after Palacios could not take out Lampe, how about this? Oh, man. Big trouble for those cars that are smoking, hoping that they're going to run out of time before they run out of motor. Lampe is doing a great, great job right there. Came in, as we said earlier, he is a big finisher, has not won, but he says he almost makes it to the final, and he's finished as high as number 2. He is running extremely well here, and so is Tim Palacios with the onboard.
Unbelievable. All you need in the midst of all of this is a fog bank of radiator smoke and oil smoke you can't see through, and that didn't hurt Palacios one bit.
How about Garcia, the 63 car, the Wolfman, taking on Palacios, and Palacios lives to run again. And he just took out Lampe, and he's trying to get Howard. I'll tell you who's going to win this thing. The 63 car is going to win this baby, Steve.
I agree with you right now. I don't think Palacios has enough automobile left.
Mike Doyle is quietly staying running with the number 1 car. Right there as he backs out. There's the 3 car, that Palacios. The Merc is still out there. Doyle looking to repeat as champion. And how about Garcia? He doesn't look any worse for wear. And I realize that's a relative term.
Huh? The Wolfman is howling now. I think he can smell victory and a nice little paycheck from Dutch Holland.
Would be something. Only 2 guys, Doyle and Palacios, who were in the finals last year, advanced right here. Garcia got taken out early. We showed you in that piece, and he gets rammed by Tim Palacios. Brad Carlson, the 13 car, still doing good. And look at Lampe's got a lot of speed in the 70 car. Lampe, Carlson, Doyle, Palacios. There he is. Big hit as Lampe takes out Carlson and Doyle.
Doyle has really not been as strong as I thought he might be here in this final. Dutch Holland looking on, boyfriend. They know that when all the judges' scores come in, if there's any kind of a tie, and it is over.
This is not going to be easy, Steve. There were some big hitters.
One of the most exciting, splendid, competitive demolition derbies we've ever seen.
Dutch and the gang have got their work cut out for them. We're going to find out who the winners are at the Western States Smash-a-thon when we come back. Next.
Seatbelt, hope your motor don't melt. Better get ready. Ooh, that looks like it's stung.
One-minute Maalox.
What? I want another quarter! I want quarter!
He doesn't need a quarter. He needs a Prozac. Or maybe a good spanking. Steve?
Yeah, that boy's going to bed without supper. It is just 7:45 here in Reno. West Coast time. A beautiful sunset will be forthcoming, but right now there's a whole lot of sad and a whole lot of happy people down in this infield because number 70, Kelly Lampe, has been determined the winner of the Western States Smash-a-thon. Kelly Lampe, who got in the final as an alternate.
And a guy that came in and they had to reconstruct the car. He was DQ'd. They told him what he had to do to fix the race car up. He did that, came back in here. He is in from Nebraska and beat all the Nevada and West Coast boys.
After 2 knee surgeries, still wearing a knee brace. All in all, it was a pretty good day. Bobby Gerald?
He is standing in the middle right now, guys, of kind of a symbolic podium here. We've got 2 cars on each side. He's right in the middle of some crunch cars. Congratulations, Kelly, on this win. This is your first big win. How's it feel?
I like it. I really like it a lot. This is what I come here for. I come to put a show on for the crowd. I feel I did the job. I hope everybody liked it.
Now, you got disqualified in Kansas. You wanted to do Derby with us there, but you weren't able to. So does this make up for all that?
Yeah, it makes up for it. People in St. Francis